Ready for part 2 of my analysis on the art dev stream? If you missed part 1 of my analysis, you can find it by visiting my channel. It should be the video that I published just before this one. In that video, I broke down the art dev stream for Life by You, and I applied a little bit of analysis to it in hopes that we don't miss any details amongst the larger community commotion that was surrounding it for the last week and a bit. So with that said, let's begin and finish off the analysis with part 2. My name is Michael and welcome back to Sovereign Gaming. I've divided my analysis of the art dev stream into 2 parts because I think that there is an overwhelming amount of information to process that's kind of getting lost, and I really wanted to take time to analyze the video very carefully. And before I begin, I want to cover a few things that I want to clarify before I carry on with my analysis. 1. I understand that this game is still in development. 2. Anything that is made public by the Paradox Life by You team can be discussed and responded to as it is presented to us. And 3. No one except for Paradox knows the full scope of the early access game. Now let's get back into it and pick up where we left off from the last video.
Mind telling us your name and what you do at Paradox?
Hey, yeah. So I'm Chris, and I'm a technical artist here at Paradox. I'm here to talk about the dynamic lighting in the game, and then some character customization stuff.
Do you want to go ahead and start with the dynamic lighting?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So one of the fundamental aspects of creating a believable world is the lighting in it. And so one of the things that we were trying to do with Life by You is make sure that every light source is dynamic and casts real-time shadows if you're close enough to the camera. We're hoping that that helps make the world feel vibrant and alive. For example, you can imagine a character that's sitting in front of a flickering fireplace and the shadow is casting from the fireplace off to the sides of the person. Or you can also have dust that's glowing from the sunlight peeking through the windows of your house as dawn breaks. Related to that, as you might have noticed with some of the videos, the world's lighting changes with the time of day as well, which shows the passage of time and gives you a bunch of different lighting throughout the day. So this is also something that we're actively working on, adjusting the look and feel of, to help just make it feel more immersive and alive.
One thing that I do want to ask is, how do you control the lighting in the game?
So since we're largely about the customization and control that you have over the worlds, we wanted to have some control for lighting. So your characters can turn lights on and off, fireplaces, candles, lights, that sort of thing, to create different atmospheres. Certain lights they'll function as smart lights as well, where you can adjust the temperature and color of them, just add to the customization of it. Similar to some other life sim games, when you walk out of your house, then the lights will automatically turn off. And same thing if everybody's sleeping in the house, then the lights will automatically turn off and back on during the day. And then we have a special case for businesses. So businesses, like their neon site, will turn on when that business is open during the day. We think that it's like some small details like that for the differentiation of building types that can help make a difference.
What I think is very interesting in this segment of the stream is that Chris is very careful with how he explains the lighting customization options. For example, he explained how you, the player, can change the colors of different light sources, such as lights, lamps, etc., but Chris was very careful not to explicitly say that a player could adjust the lighting in the world. For me, adjusting the lighting in the world is actually very important because the lighting of an environment can drastically alter the mood of a town or a world, and it can also change the colors of things too. If it's not an option that is made readily available for players eventually, it will definitely be something that modders will look into creating. If I remember correctly, there are mods out there already that exist that adjust the lighting, LUT, and global coloring settings for worlds in The Sims already. And that's across all franchises. I believe I've seen some for even The Sims 2, but I know The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 definitely have these mods out there. So it's not like the modding community won't consider making environmental mods that affect the global settings as this. I also wanted to point this out specifically because Rockio actually confirmed on Twitter that it currently isn't possible to adjust the global lighting and color settings, and so she did note it. I have left a screenshot up from Reddit really explaining that kind of conversation there. So it's not going to be a feature that's made ready for us, at least in the early access game, but for the base game, I really hope that it does make it in. Anyways, let's continue.
Character customization. So let's switch gears and talk about that.
Yeah, we've been trying to add support for a wide range of customization, including the addition of scars, beauty marks, and tattoos. And all of those have customized placement on your character. So what that means is that you can rotate, scale, and reposition them to achieve the look that you're envisioning. For early access, we're supporting 6 tattoos on your character, 1 for the face, 1 for each arm, 1 for your torso, and 1 for each leg. But after the initial early access, we plan to support any number of tattoos or scars or beauty marks so that you can have a really deep level of customization for the character. We also let you blend smoothly between different stages of wrinkles and glossiness. You can also adjust the iris, pupils, and sclera separately so you can have heterochromia for your characters. So we're hoping that this level of flexibility allows you to create a big range of unique characters. Each have their own personal style and identity.
You know those glossy skins that are incredibly popular with players? Well, instead of breaking your game trying to download them, they're now available in the early access release, just with the options. I just wanted to pause and point out that the Life by You team has really studied the Sims community's taste in custom content. Now, I have never created custom content myself for any of the Sims franchises, but I think that what you have to do is you have to export the image file and then edit it in Photoshop or Illustrator. If you've created custom content for The Sims before, please leave a comment on the process of that, and leave a comment if you think that some of these customization options will actually help to alleviate some of the modding demands or the custom creation demands that you might face. Another custom asset that players have asked for since The Sims 2 is the ability to give Sims heterochromia. They kind of did it in Sims 3, but that was really only for pets. And I remember a long time ago I went ahead and tried to download a mod to change eye color, but it only ended up making my Sim look like they had a glass eye, which was not the experience I was looking for, to say the very least. It was hilarious though. Unintentionally hilarious. But then again, I have never been huge on downloading complicated game mechanic mods, so I really only ended up restarting that save file to get the eye color that I wanted for that particular Sim. Anyways, I wanted to highlight that the Life by You team is not only considering what kind of gameplay and customization that they want to offer players, but they have clearly studied popular mods and custom content that players gravitate towards and are now making them options right in the game, as we can kind of see here.
Could you tell us your name and what you do?
Hi, my name is Sean Nakamura. I'm the senior artist.
We're here to talk about facial features today. I know you've been doing a lot of work on various parts of the face. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what you've been working on in terms of like the nose?
Sure. So as you can tell just from the different faces you see every day, every nose shape is different. And I just wanted to make sure that our model that we use, we could create all those different shapes that you see to create the different shapes of faces.
One thing that I think is kind of difficult is, different sizes of nose and how that relates to the rest of the face. Like, how do you balance that?
I try to balance it based off of... So what I do is I usually grab like a celebrity face, a face that everybody knows, and I try to create the same proportions that they have. Sometimes it's a hit or miss, but I try to get as close as possible, just so we can test the limits of what our character can do.
From the different noses that we already have in the game, there's a lot of variety. I know we have sliders. How did you make sure that the sliders worked like across the face? Because you move the nose, like it might change the cheeks. Like how does that work?
That all deals with weight painting. So weight painting is pretty meticulous. Like basically, it influence, like when you move a slider, it moves a joint, and that joint moves a certain vertice or a piece of mesh on a face. So I have to go in there and adjust, test, like nonstop, just to get everything working kind of correctly. There's still some flaws that I see, but majority of it's getting worked out pretty well.
Like, obviously, there's more than just the nose on the face. You go nose, lips, eyes. Kind of curious, like, how do you approach lips differently?
For lips, like I'm Asian, so I have really thin lips. So as you go to different ethnic groups, the lips thickness, shapes, they all change. So I just wanted to make sure I can target and create each different type of lip shape, so you can combine as well, like different eyes with different lips and different noses to create your own individual face. I just try to make it so we're as flexible as possible.
One thing I really like about the character creator, and we'll be showing footage of this as I talk, is the fact that you can actually change like the outer lip, inner lip, like middle lip. How did you make all of those pieces work together too?
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the weight painting. So there's the particular shape called the Cupid's bow, I believe, where middle part of the lip, the top lip, is lower, and the outer lips are higher. So I had to adjust the weights just to make sure we could create that shape, or you can totally remove it if you wanted to.
That's cool. Yeah, because I know some people have it, some people don't. Yeah. And eyes. I think eyes are a big part of the face, especially when you're trying to make somebody feel unique. How did you approach eyes?
Eyes, that's basically the gateway, to everyone's soul. That's like one of the first things people look at. So I also tried to build it off popular celebrities. I tried to go with people who had different eye shapes or unusual eye shapes, just so we can capture everything into our character. There's some things that I would like to add in the future. We're working on currently is to add more double eyelids and ability to kind of bulge the eyes a little bit. But trying to create one all character that can be everybody and everything is pretty difficult, but we're getting pretty close.
That's great, and I really appreciate you walking us through each of those facial features. Is there anything else you wanted to add in terms of the work you've been doing on the face?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy just tinkering overall. Like, I'm a person who likes to take things apart and then put it back together just to figure out how it works. So I really enjoy the exploration I have to do to find the characters in our character that we have. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's it for me on the nose, lips, and eyes.
Cool.
Cool.
I actually don't think that much needs to be explained in this part, because it's all just a demonstration on what you can do when it comes to customizing your Life by You human's face, and that it really speaks for itself. Am I impressed? Yes. Do I think that the customization options hold up to and are comparable to other life simulation games? Also yes. When it comes to Life by You, Paralives, and eventually The Sims 5 becoming available for players, they each have to compete with each other on some level. The create a human or the create a sim features will need to be robust and built out to certain standard quos in order to meet the needs of the life simulation player base. And I feel that what we are being shown now, and that we know that it's continuing to develop, is doing just that. And I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing here. Let's continue watching.
What's your name and what do you do?
Okay, my name's Eric. I'm a character artist on Life by You. I guess today I'm going to be talking a bit about hair in the game.
So one thing that I know you've been working on is the hair textures. Could you talk a little bit more about how hair textures have started and where they are now?
Sure. So up till this point, we've been focused on just getting stuff in the game, and now leading up to early access is the time we want to spend really making the stuff look polished and more refined. What I've been working on lately is making the hair look a lot more detailed, and then also adding support for color tinting. So right now, a lot of the hair props are just one overall color. What I'm adding now is what you call tint maps. So you can have multiple hair colors and then strands of hair that have other color gradients going on, so I have a lot more flexibility and options for your hair color.
I'm kind of curious how you approach that when it comes to so many different kinds of hairstyles.
Mm-hmm. So right now I've gone through and updated a few different types of hair, and then what I'm going to do is carry that through to all the rest of the hair props. So I have kind of the fundamental building blocks for updating the hair, so now I have to go through and apply it to the rest of the hair props. For starting out, what I did was made new hair cards that I used to create more detailed texture maps. From there you can build up, add more tinting options. Use a texture program called Substance Painter, and that provides a lot of flexibility and options for how you texture things. And once you have stuff in there, it's easy to edit and use it for other future hair props and reuse things, so you can save a lot of time once you get your first batch of assets made.
We're kind of a small team, so obviously you
Yeah.
have to do a lot of hair, and I think making that work across the board makes perfect sense. I'm kind of curious, because there's multiple different kinds of hair. How do you do eyebrows?
So eyebrows right now, I've done a little testing with alpha planes, but right now they're baked into the character face texture. So basically you pick the different eyebrows you want, like a lot of different facial features, and then everything gets baked down into one big face texture. That's one of the things I'll be doing another pass on during this polish phase, is making the eyebrows look a little better, make sure they all tint how people expect them to. And we also need to probably spend some time making the hair color consistently. So right now, if you pick your hair color, the eyebrows don't really update. We have some work there to make everything kind of in sync.
I like the option to
Yeah.
have the matching or not matching, but I really appreciate that it would sync, because I know when especially when you're randomly creating people, you want it to feel cohesive.
You definitely want to keep the option to have them unique. If you want, say, pink eyebrows and blue hair, you'll be able to do that. Also, by default, we want stuff to look cohesive, and then if you want to break that, that's totally up to you.
And then another part of hair is facial hair. Kind of curious, like, how you've approached facial hair and where that's going.
Facial hair is, some of it is textured on the face, and some of it is actual geometry hair. It'll be a similar polish process to the rest of the hair props, where it's going to be getting a polish pass in the textures so they look more detailed and they blend better with the scalp and the face.
I'm looking forward to that. A lot of folks are excited for facial hair.
I really want to add a lot more options as well. So it's kind of the same with a lot of the hair props. I'm going to look for any gaps we have in hairstyles and add more options and variants as I go through them. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add about hair and how you approached it?
I think right now we're trying to just get a good spectrum of hairstyles. That all these hairstyles are used for our entire population. So right now there aren't a lot of super unique hairstyles, but I think once this polish pass is done on the base hair props, start adding a lot more unique options. So it would look a little weird if you have a bunch of people with mohawks walking around as default.
That was my first thought, too.
I know players are going to want stuff like that, so we want to add a lot more unique hair options. So if you want a mohawk family, you can have a mohawk family.
The first important point that I wanted to highlight is that Eric mentioned that these base game hairs are ready for another polish. And that's the feeling that I get with Life by You, and it's something that they have confirmed on social media very explicitly and publicly. And that is that everything is ready to be polished, and that the work we are being shown right now is indeed a work in progress that will get updated and worked on and developed. And for me, that is reassuring. I'm really glad that Paradox has publicly said that they are designing more diverse hairs, as that was a really big problem in the Sims 3 franchise and the Sims 2 franchise, quite honestly. So a really big problem that didn't get enough attention, in my opinion, when The Sims 3 came out is that they didn't have a lot of diverse hair options in the base game and in the subsequent expansion packs. And in fact, if The Sims 3 was released today, it would probably get cancelled for its lack of diverse hair options available in the base game and the subsequent expansion packs as well. To EA's defense though, They did a better job to offer more diverse hair options in The Sims 4, but the problem still exists in The Sims 3 and even in The Sims 2. As I understand this game to be a work in progress, I am very happy with what I have seen with the art dev stream overall. I think that for an early access version, that the direction of how they want their Life by You humans to look, which is being a canvas, and how their world to feel is pretty clear on my end. And I can see how this is a great base to really grow from and to continue to evolve from. Keeping in mind that early access releases in September, I've managed my expectations to expect that the changes from now until then could be very minimal when it comes to how the Life by You humans look. However, I think that it would be a good idea for Paradox to keep players in the loop with the Life by You human design, since I feel that was what the community was really expecting in this case. But that's just me and how I feel. And I totally get that others may not feel the same way too, and that's okay. Overall, I am willing to wait for the chips to fall before passing on any final judgments on the Life by You human graphics, but what this art dev stream made clear to me was that it clarified what vision they are executing on, and that their game is continuing to evolve and that it is still a work in progress. But again, that's just me. Comment below with what you think on the art dev stream. Are you reassured or not, and why? Do you think that targeting a mature life simulation player type will work out for the Life by You team in the end? How do you feel about the Paradox team approaching the Life by You human design as more of a canvas than a work of art? Do you think that's lazy of them? Or do you think that will actually help them? Feel free to sound off in the comments below. I just ask that you are respectful and kind. And until next time, I just want to thank you again for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then feel free to like and subscribe for more. Thank you again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.